Hey, good morning, Facebook world. It is Sunday morning. Dr. Jason Dean. I'm actually coming live on Facebook as well as Periscope. So if I look down, I have two different cameras going on. And it is Sunday morning, and I figured I'd just come to you with some video and see how you're doing this morning. If you have any health questions, do me a favor, just go ahead and ask. And who plans for the week on Sunday? Does anybody plan for the week on Sunday? So a lot of people do. Sunday is a great day to plan for the actual week and basically predict your future for the week. But a few things I wanted to check on and talk to you about. I have a TV in the back here with something up. It's a little bright, but the actual thing says how natural doctors can hurt you. This was on Consumer Reports website a couple days ago, and it deals with naturopaths. So can natural doctors heal? This is the constant propaganda we're actually dealing with. So can natural doctors hurt you? Now, the actual article was written by a scientist. This was her word, scientist turned journalist. So does anybody know what journalists actually do? So journalists actually take information and they basically consume it, bring it in, and then they give you an unbiased written report essentially on what they researched. Now, this woman who wrote this, who is a scientist turned journalist, she didn't actually do any of that. She just basically has her opinion all the way through, and it's how medical doctors have a whole bunch of science behind what they do, and how naturopathics don't. Now, they didn't go after chiropractors, which thankfully, but naturopaths. My sister's a naturopathic physician, so it's kind of not offensive, but annoying because they have no clue what they're talking about. And she basically went through and said, there's no diagnostic test, they sell you a bunch of supplementation that doesn't actually work, and she used her case or herself as the guinea pig because she supposedly went to a naturopathic doctor. And I only put it up there because this is kind of the propaganda machine that they keep pushing, whether they're attacking naturopaths, acupuncturists, chiropractors, they're attacking fat, they're attacking whatever. Hey, Ruben, good to see you. Anybody wants to chime in with questions, I'll answer as much as I possibly can as I go through this. So this is a Consumer Reports. My problem with these articles, not because I like highlighting them, my problem with these articles is that it's such mainstream media now at this point that they're putting all this stuff up on mainstream. So people are seeing, can natural doctors hurt you? And it's total junk. But the problem is you actually have to know how to read and understand what they're actually saying. So not a lot of people are breaking this down from a critical thinking standpoint, and they're just reading it as an advertisement basically. And it's free publicity for this supposed scientist who turned to be a journalist. So it's a bunch of garbage. Now, is Monsanto really leaving? Are they done? So if you didn't know, I think it was like a $7 billion+ deal, even more than that probably. If you didn't know, Monsanto was bought out by Bayer. So Bayer is actually, if you didn't know, Bayer was actually a company created back in Nazi Germany. And so Bayer is a quote-unquote pharmaceutical company. You remember Bayer aspirin. So Monsanto was bought out by Bayer. And then there was an article, I think Yahoo published it, CBS, this past week or two ago. And Bayer purchased Monsanto, and then they put out an article saying Monsanto is done, we're getting rid of it, and we're going to get rid of the name. So the killer is, if you know anything about marketing, right? So Monsanto had a name that was 111 years old, right? So Monsanto, agriculture, seeds, etc. 111-year-old name Monsanto, and Bayer is just going to get rid of it because they like their own name, and they didn't want, really, the true story is, from a branding standpoint, a marketing standpoint, you would never get rid of a 111-year-old name. That's insanity because that's the brand you have. What they're really doing is Bayer knows exactly how crappy the name Monsanto is right now. Bayer also knows what garbage they're putting out there. So they're getting rid of the stigma of Monsanto, and they're just going to go under the word Bayer. And most people actually, unfortunately, have been so programmed into medicine at this point, and they have so many medications in their cabinet, etc., that they're not even thinking about it. People most likely will look at the word Bayer or the company name Bayer, and it's a respected and trusted name because it's been around so long, and it was just aspirin, and aspirin is considered okay, so it's all right. Monsanto knows that, Bayer knows that, so they're getting rid of the Monsanto name to go with the Bayer name because it's a more trusted name. Keep in mind, mainstream medicine, only 100 years old or so, and most of the baby boomers at this point who are towards the end of their lifespan, they trusted the medical doctors, they trusted the medical profession. That's why MDs and the medical industrial complex was put up on a pedestal, because they were trusted by the baby boomer generation. Bayer is actually a trusted name in medicine today. That's the problem. So Bayer is going forward with their name, dumping off the poor or bad publicity and bad PR of the Monsanto name. But trust me, Monsanto is going nowhere. The scientists are all there, everyone's involved, and they're just gonna basically take the research and they bring it right over. So no one's leaving, they're just getting rid of some bad publicity. The genetically modification's still gonna be there, the seeds are still gonna be there, glyphosate's still gonna be there. Actually was told by somebody the other day that they're actually trying to bring DDT back into the population. So DDT, spraying DDT, yeah, bad stuff. Literally destroys your nervous system. So Monsanto's not actually going anywhere. They're just trying to get rid of a probably 5 to 15 year bad publicity campaign, because all of us waking up, and the public waking up to how garbage Monsanto is, GMOs, glyphosate, Roundup. They know exactly what's going on. So it's really just good marketing by Bayer. But keep in mind, if you didn't know, Bayer aspirin is actually a Nazi Germany company, if you didn't know that. So go back and research. A lot of companies, I believe BMW, definitely Adidas. So these companies were actually designed and brought up in Nazi Germany, and this was one of them. So now we have this gigantic pharmaceutical company who now controls the seeds, the GMOs, the Roundup or glyphosate, and basically big ag. So the ones spraying all your stuff, all the food out there, the non-organic food, everyone who's spraying all that, they're a big pharmaceutical company. So if you think we didn't have disease before, well, we're gonna have it now. On top of that, I'm actually doing a podcast in about 2 weeks with a really smart guy regarding EMFs, electromagnetic frequencies, and we're going to be talking about the 5G network, 5G. So right now, I'm actually on Wi-Fi, but if my phone was off Wi-Fi, we're coming to you on a 4G LTE. I have Verizon. 5G is coming. Now 5G, they're trying to go with global internet. So basically, you walk outside, you're constantly on internet. The problem with that is 5G is going to be directly caused to cancer. So cancer is skyrocketing. You haven't skyrocketed yet. Wait till you see 5G. I'm going to have a podcast with somebody who is a genius, wrote a book on the 5G and EMF networks, and he's going to be on probably a couple weeks from now, I believe we're scheduled. So last thing, ramblings on a Sunday. So I get this magazine in the mail. You ready? This magazine comes in yesterday because I have a patient who has been raising pheasants. And so I get this magazine in the mail. I believe it was yesterday or the day before. Big rooster out front. My wife says to me, she goes, "Did you buy chickens?" I said, "What do you mean?" She goes, "You got this in the mail." So, yeah, I'm going to start learning. I have no clue about anything chickens. So, but I would love to actually hatch some eggs, have in my backyard. The problem with our neighborhood is we do have an owl that hangs out with us probably a couple times a month in our backyard at night. And then also we know we have a bear in our neighborhood. My wife has actually seen him probably about a year ago maybe. And if I do bring in the roosters or the chickens, I have to make sure it doesn't get eaten. So I'm going to be doing some learning about chickens and roosters, so that possibly we could do some backyard eggs. But we actually also have it in my town. I have to go check the laws, the rules, because they don't allow only so many chickens in your backyard. Because actually several years ago, we had an autistic kid in our neighborhood. I believe they're still here. And the autistic kid was having a tremendous amount of success. They were actually having chickens in their backyard. And tremendous success getting him to calm down, relax the chickens. He was communicating with the chickens, which is really cool because that can happen. But the problem was the city didn't like it. People were complaining because this kid had chickens in his backyard because he was autistic, and it was actually helping him. So we had this massive, massive court case in our small little town, and actually one of the big law firms took it on, I think pro bono, because this kid autistic, and a whole bunch of people showed up to support this child, and actually the city, because city governments, most governments are stupid, by, they're stupid, right? And so they actually limited the amount of animals you can have in your backyard, and no matter how good they were, no matter how well behaved, because neighbors didn't like the roosters, I don't know what they crowing, whatever they do. And so I have to actually go look up now, because if I decide I'm going to get a rooster or chickens, I won't get a rooster because they're probably too loud. But if I do get chickens, I have to know now. Good morning, David. David, actually, let me interject here. Go to David's Facebook page, and you're going to see where I think he did a video on gabapentin a couple weeks ago. If not, he probably shared it again, and it exploded virally, where we're talking like thousands upon thousands of shares, thousands of views, and then he got some haters coming on his lines because he told the truth about medications, opioids, and about their basically addictive qualities that get people stuck on medication. So go to David Morris's page, because he actually had an amazing video about that, and it was really good. So I just wanted to come to you Sunday morning regarding the naturopathic doctors. So you see it right here. It's a little hard to see, but how natural doctors can hurt you, which was put out by Consumer Reports, which is complete garbage, because one, there's not even any truth in it. Two, a reformed scientist became a journalist, and they got paid by the pharmaceutical companies to write an article like this junk. And then Monsanto becomes Bayer, not because Monsanto's gone, but Monsanto and Bayer just no good marketing, and they're trying to take the bad publicity or stigma off of Monsanto. And then let's raise some chickens. How does that sound? Let's raise some good. This is actually, it's called Murray McMurray, and as I flip through this, there is so many types of birds in here. I had no clue you could actually do this. And they're not expensive either. So I gotta go learn about some birds and figure out if I do want to do some hatchlings with my daughter. I need to learn how to do it, because there's a whole bunch of information in here. And then planning. So it's Sunday morning right now. Do me a favor, if you want to help more people, if you want to get something accomplished in life, do me a favor. Start planning. Today's a great day. Write out some goals. What do you want to happen for this week? Create your week. Create your life. I know that's a little weird message as we're talking about naturopathic physicians and Monsanto, but one of my missions is to literally help with my colleagues around the country, around the world, to take down this huge pharmaceutical cartel, which is really what it is. You know, when you have the average person coming into your office, and most of you out there either see it in your offices, or if you don't have an office, just as a person of public, if you're on 10 medications or more, which the most of the public is, unfortunately, the average amount of people that are coming in, 8, 10 medications, it's insane. They're coming into the office. My goal is, it's very outward. There's no deception. This is not covert in any way. Goal is to shut this system down, shut this cartel down, because if you didn't know, medication was used to save lives. It is not for what they're doing now, which is to keep you drugged up. I gotta be careful. I'm going to rant here. It keeps you drugged up. So that's what the cartel is all about. So how are we going to stop the cartel? How are we going to reverse the cartel? Go grow some chickens in your backyard. That's the best way to do it. So that should be it for today. I don't want to rant too much, but ultimately, let's flip this thing over. Let's get people healthy again. You know, it's amazing. I'm going to do this tomorrow too. I want to tell you about 2 patients that came in the office last week. One person came in. I'll give you a little summary right now, and then I'll let you guys go. One person came in, and this lady is a quote unquote. She worked in pharmacy before. Let's just say that, and she has so many problems she wrote down from her health history. It was unbelievable. And she was on more than 10 medications. I don't even remember what they were. And there was medications for anxiety, depression. The side effect was anxiety, depression. So she doesn't even know if they're working or not, which they're not. And then in my office, we do this thing called nutrition response testing, which is the most duplicated, most laser precise form of muscle testing in the entire world. And we have the largest practice in the world for that type of testing. And I remember she looked at me, she goes, "This stuff's just weird, and I don't know if I can believe this." I said, "Well, I don't know if you can believe gravity either, but if you drop the pen's still gonna hit the floor, so you cannot believe it all you want to, but it's still there. This is just physics. You cannot believe in physics all you want to, but physics is still there whether you want to believe in it or not. And unfortunately, people are actually getting to the point where they don't believe in natural necessarily, but yet if you give them 10 medications and then you cut their chest open and rip their rib cage apart and you take their heart out and you cut into that, that's accepted. So don't think that medicine doesn't understand propaganda, because they've built into your minds for 100 years that it's okay to drug you up, to cut your chest open, take your heart out, put another one in because you didn't take care of yourself. But pushing on an arm and taking a whole food supplement or functional medicine or whatever it is you may be going to with a natural healthcare physician, they think that that's not normal or that that's weird. So we've literally become a system that people think being drugged to death is normal and that's accepted today, versus not being on drugs, not having surgery, not being cut open. Don't ever underestimate the power of mind control, of propaganda, of marketing, etc. My job is, let's use marketing to our advantage for good. Let's tell people that Monsanto's a joke and they just got bought out by Bayer, and Bayer is a more trusted name, so they're going to go with that name so that people can stop bashing on Monsanto. Or, that real food, organic food, or having chickens in your backyard with real eggs. This is a rooster, of course, but having chickens in your backyard that you can actually eat, that are totally organic and are not pumped with soy, not pumped with grains, etc., and actually real, could actually help you. Or that a whole food or whole herbal or a homeopathic or a stem cell could actually help you. That's just shocking to people, because they've been so programmed into medicine that having those little orange pill bottles up in your cabinet is normal. So, or getting scheduled for your C-section or getting scheduled for your surgery is normal. Well, that is not normal. I often ask in seminars if people think that we were put on this planet or this earth by our Creator to be sick, and everyone resoundingly puts their hand up and they say, no, we were not intended to be sick. Then I say, yet you're playing it out because you are sick and you're accepting that. Everyone has lost their purpose for the most part. They've lost what they're here for. They've lost the ability to serve. They don't know what to do because they're so caught up in their own junk and their own body, because they're getting prescribed every medication. They're getting surgically operated on constantly, and they forgot that they're actually not here to be sick. So find your purpose. Go out and plan something today. Take care of yourself. Get healthy. It's one step by one step by one step. You don't get healthy overnight. You don't plan overnight. It takes time. It's a gradient effect, okay? So literally, oops, I talked too much. My screensaver came on. So that's my cue to get off now. So guys, share the video. I went a lot longer than I expected, but no big deal. Share the video, send it out there, because we got to change this whole thing, and it's just about putting information out there, getting it to your friends, getting it to your family, so you can change you, your family, your community, your kids, and help tons and tons of people. So guys, have a very happy Sunday. This is Dr. Jason Dean, giving you a little information from the news of natural health right now, and teaching you how to look through the BS, read between the lines, and know what's actually happening in your world. Hi, Maria. Hi, Mia. Maria, I never say Mia. Maria, I always say Mia. And hi, everybody. You guys, if you have any comments, just post them below. We'll talk to you soon. Have an amazing Sunday. Take care of yourself and be well.